Good morning to all. Class A Biology. We already learned and discussed two chapters: cell structure and functions, crop production and management. Crop production and management, chapter 1 in your textbook. Now here, microorganisms, friends and foe. This is the second chapter in your textbook. Here, third chapter. We are going to discuss third chapter, microorganisms, friends and foe. All living organisms. All living organisms and non-living organisms. We know differences: organisms, living organisms and non-living organisms. Living organisms can move by themselves. Non-living organisms, it cannot move. Living organism, for example, plants, animals and human beings and microorganisms. Non-living organisms, stone, building, etc. All living organisms present around us. All living organisms are present around us, but we cannot see. Our naked eye is known as microorganisms. We cannot see. Our naked eye is known as microorganisms. We need microscope to see microbes. There are 5 major types of microorganisms: bacteria, algae, protozoa, fungi, virus. Bacteria, algae, protozoa, fungi, virus. 5 major types of microorganisms. First one, bacteria. Bacteria are mostly unicellular organisms. Bacteria mostly unicellular organisms. We already learned and discussed these cells and different types of cells in cell structure and functions lesson. Unicellular means single cell organisms. Multicellular means many cells. Bacteria mostly unicellular organisms. These bacteria are found in live together. These bacteria are live together in colonies of millions. These bacteria basically found in 3 different shapes. What are the shapes? Rod-shaped bacteria, spherical-shaped bacteria and spiral-shaped bacteria. Rod-shaped, spherical-shaped and spiral-shaped bacteria. Rod-shaped bacteria, for example, bacilli. Spherical-shaped bacteria, for example, cocci. Spiral-shaped bacteria, spirochete. These are bacteria. Algae. Algae, simple plant-like structured organisms. Simple plant-like structured organisms. It can be unicellular or multicellular organisms. Aquatic organisms. Examples: Chlamydomonas and diatoms. Examples of algae. Next, protozoa. Protozoa, unicellular organisms. These are unicellular organisms, aquatic organisms. Examples: amoeba and paramecium. Amoeba and paramecium, examples of unicellular organisms also. Fungi. organism but don't have chlorophyll. Simple plant-like structure organism but don't have chlorophyll. It can be unicellular or multicellular organisms. Examples: rhizopus and yeast. Virus. These are smaller structures. They are smaller than any other cells known as. These viruses are live together, live and inside reproduce only living bodies. That means need to host. For example, HIV, Ebola virus, influenza, adenovirus. These are examples of virus. If you see all these 5 types of microorganisms and examples once again, bacteria, examples of 3 shapes are there in the 3 shapes: bacilli, cocci and spirulina. Examples. All the example: Chlamydomonas and diathans. Protozoa examples: amoeba and paramecia. Fungi examples: rhizopus and yeast. Virus examples: HIV, hepatitis, in that Ebola virus, influenza. Friendly microorganisms. Friendly microorganisms. Friendly microorganisms. These are used to preparation of cakes, bread and curd. Friendly microorganisms. These are cleaning up of the environment by degrading dead and decaying substances. These are used for increasing the soil fertility by nitrogen fixation. I am repeating once again. Once, be careful. First one, making of preparation of curd, bread and cake. Cleaning up of the environment by degrading dead and decaying substances. Increasing the soil fertility by nitrogen fixation. Friendly microorganisms. Making of curd, making of curd, cheese and bread. Bacterium lactobacillum promotes the formation of curd. It multiplies in milk and converts into the curd. Bacteria converts natural sugar in milk and it is the lactic acid. Making of curd. Next, yeast. Yeast is used for making of bread and cakes. Bakers add this yeast to dough, increasing that its value by filling the gaps by bubbles by producing the carbon dioxide. Yeast. Commercial production of microorganisms. Commercial production of microorganisms. Commercial production of microorganisms used for large-scale production of alcohol, wine, and vinegar. Yeast is used for commercial production of alcohol and wine. Fermentation. Fermentation. The process of conversion of sugar into alcohol by yeast is known as fermentation. Used for large-scale production of alcohol, wine, and vinegar. Yeast is used for commercial production of alcohol and wine. Fermentation. Fermentation, the process of conversion of sugars into alcohol by yeast is known as fermentation. Next, medicinal use of microorganisms. Medicinal use of microorganisms. Antibiotics. Antibiotics. These are the medicines. These are the medicines that are used to treat infections, other bacteria, and certain parasites. Next, antibiotics are produced by the help of bacteria. For example, what are the examples? Streptomycin, penicillin, tetracycline, examples of antibiotics. What we have learned today. There are 5 major types of microorganisms. What are they? Bacteria, algae, fungi, protozoa, and virus. Friendly microorganisms and making of curd, cheese, and bread. Commercial use of microorganisms, and last one is medicinal use of microorganisms.